As we edge closer to the reunion for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I am absolutely, positively excited about finally hearing about the plotterization of it all. Every couple of years with a particular Housewives franchise, we tend to hear about some alleged scheme, some plot, some monster under the bed. There is usually some cloaked specter in the background who is pulling the strings, making things happen, as Nene would say. But now we've got a new plot to discuss on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we've been discussing it for quite a while. And Cynthia Bailey is letting us know, y'all, she doesn't think that there is a plot. So we're going to talk about that. We also got a little bit more tea from Cynthia Bailey, and I just find some things curious about Cynthia in this season. Cheekbones is looking better than ever, so we got to give her props there. And always congrats on the styling because she looks amazing. But we're also going to talk about a little bit of Potomac tea as well, so stick around for the end for that, okay? Sky Squad, of course, we are back in the building, and y'all know what we like to talk about, reality TV. So let's get into it. So in this interview with Virtual RealiTea from page 6, y'all, Cynthia, I watched the whole thing, okay? Just to let you guys know, I did go and watch it for yourself. I like this particular episode because they do this thing called tea time, and they basically have pastries, not real, and Cynthia will pick a pastry, and then there's a question associated with each piece of pastry. Now, Cynthia is asked some interesting questions that I want to discuss. She's asked, of course, who she would bring back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She, of course, says Nene Leakes. At one point in time, I also think it would have been Kenya Moore. Her and Kenya Moore are not on speaking terms ever since everything went down with the Britt Edie situation on the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16. But I digress. Nene will be showing up in a few weeks on our screens with the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Roaring 20s coming up. But for now, let's get back into Cynthia and the plotterization. When asked if she believes that there is a plot against K. Michelle, she says she doesn't believe there's a plot. She does not. Now, she stops short of saying that K. Michelle is out of her mind, but she also goes into detail and says she doesn't see it, okay, for herself. She doesn't know about one. Now, she also articulates that she has not been in every scene. And so that could mean that she may have missed something. But from her perspective, there is no plot. But she does believe, as do I, that K. Michelle is responding to something. But she just doesn't believe that there is a plot out there. It's so funny. A comment on this page talks about they're not plotting against Kay, they're plotting against Shamea. Now, I don't know what the truth is. I don't know what the plot is, but I do believe that there is something that Kay is responding to, something that someone has told her. Where this person is, hopefully we'll find out at the reunion that was just filmed recently. But right now, Cynthia's saying no, 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 no. When K. Michelle is saying yes, 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 yes. So we'll have to wait and see if K. Michelle unveils exactly who is behind this alleged plot. Now, from things that I'm hearing that quite a few bombshells are dropped at this reunion. So we'll just have to wait and see. But of course, they say that about every reunion, right? Do you think that there's a plot against K. Michelle? And who do you think, if there is one, is behind it? Because Kelly believes that there was a plot against K. Michelle. That was also interesting. She did an interview. I think it was with, I cannot remember who it was with at the time. So please forgive me because it does escape me. But she does believe that there is a plot against K. Michelle. So we'll have to wait and see. The other thing that I thought was super interesting about this was when asked about Angela saying that Shamea was sleeping with the people, Cynthia doesn't want to answer that question. That is literally one of the only questions she does not respond to. And the question is, what does she think about it? But she's like, oh no, I'm not touching that one, child. And I'm thinking to myself, that's odd. I mean, unless something else happens that we haven't seen yet, based on this past episode, I'm not sure why you would not have anything to say about Angela making these accusations against Shamea. Like, shouldn't it be wrong is wrong in this situation? I'm not saying you have to, because I clearly think that there is something here that, and as we'll talk about a little later, that prevents Cynthia from in any way, shape, or form acknowledging that Shamea is going through something with these women, but she just doesn't even want to touch this at all. And that's wild to me that you would not at least want to say, yeah, I didn't think that was right. Or maybe she doesn't think it was wrong. I mean, that could be the case too, but it just was really surprising to me that it seems as though, as I stated before, no one wants to acknowledge, or at least no one from one side of the couch wants to acknowledge that Angela and what she did was not right. I don't get that. Why is it that we as fans only see this, but the cast members don't? I feel like sometimes I'm being gaslit in this way, but listen, if she don't want to comment on it, which again is surprising, it's a little bit telling, right? It's just weird. Equally as weird is this right here. Now, shout out to our friends over at Housewives from a Housewife for this one right here. Okay. This is from Cynthia Bailey's podcast, Humblebrag, with Crystal Kung Minkoff. This week, or at least for this particular episode, Loni Love is a guest co-host. And so Loni is asking, what is the original breakdown, or where did this whole situation with Angela and Shamea, where did it start? And so Cynthia says, well, it had to do with some things that were said by Portia about Charles, and Angela overheard. And Shamia was in the background co-signing and laughing. And child, everybody that night who was there, they was all in trouble. But Portia and had apologized to Angela. And for Shamia and Angela, it just carried over. And it again, this just kind of goes back. If we're watching Cynthia over the course of not only the episodes, tell Shamia that, hey, you have the power of Grayskull to bring the world back together again. You, the lapdog from last year, you can bring all the women together. It is you who is causing the division. You. It's interesting because it always feels like Cynthia can never simply state what actually happened. Basically, we know Portia says she could or should or something like that F Charles. Do I think that Portia was being for real? I don't think she was being for real with that. I think she was just coming at a space where Angela is maybe insecure, or maybe Portia believed she was insecure. I don't really think that Portia would really go and do that. But of course, the person laughing is the person that gets the most smoke. That's crazy to me. And it's funny that Cynthia is like unable to vocalize anything and hold anybody else accountable but Shamea. And I'm flabbergasted by that. And I'm trying not to be on the bandwagon of like Cynthia's employed by Go Naked. But I just maybe wonder if Cynthia has a blind spot. I think that may be a much more appropriate way, because I love Cynthia. I love Cynthia and what she brings to the show. I think she does a lot more than some of these other ladies sometimes as well. And I don't mind that I think it's natural for her to be so good of friends with Portia, because her, Phaedra, and Portia have a longer history on the show than anybody else. But I do think that I kind of count on Cynthia for the most part to be a neutral party, to be able to actually see and call out what is actually happening in front of her and not have these blind spots. But maybe we all do, right? Maybe we all have blind spots. And I'm going to go ahead and readily admit that we all do have blind spots. But it's just so blatant with Cynthia in this moment. And I just wonder why. I wonder why. Maybe it is because she too has had her issues with Shamea this season. Maybe that is it. Now, I want to go into And also too, make sure you guys go out and support Cynthia's podcast because I mean, obviously, I want the woman to win. Let's get into the Potomac ladies. So this is interesting because I live in and around the DMV area, but I do not happen to run into any of these housewives or see them filming ever. I do not. I don't really go out a lot anyway. So if I'm going out, I would like to be going out of the country. Having said that, what we do know is that the Housewives of Potomac were filming in Rehoboth. Now, the last time we remember them filming in and around that area was probably because Ashley had a house there, a beach house, if you guys recall that. So I wonder if they were there visiting her beach house. Because here's what we see, and I'm going to actually play this clip and it is from Coastal with Casey. I'm assuming Coastal with Casey, from my small bit of research, does lives maybe somewhere in Delaware, and maybe this is how the spotting came about. But as you can see here, this appears to be either probably a camera person right here in with the plastic over the camera, the telltale sign. This appears to be, I can't tell if this is maybe Wendy or Stacy. The hair gives me Wendy, but it could be Stacy. And this appears to be the new girl, Courtney. Now, you also see what appears to be Tia and Ashley, and this is giving Giselle right here. So we have the ladies, what appears to be exiting. Okay, so now we get into what's happening on the inside. So what you hear from this clip is it sounds like you hear the new girl Courtney saying, "I am not the one." And it sounds like Ashley is screaming back at her, "But you're the one who's getting loud," or something to that degree. But what we do know is you can see Robin Dixon here in the frame. There's Tia over here on this other side in the frame. You can see Ashley here, right here. And then you can see what appears to be Courtney right here. This, in my mind, I'm not sure who this person is. This is either Uncle Lump, maybe, or it is a producer, someone else on production. I'm not sure because it looks like the camera people are on the other end. So we know Ashley is back in the action, back in full effect. And we do know she will be, at least by the end of the season, beefing with the new cast member, Courtney. No word on where. I didn't see in this clip. I didn't see Karen. I didn't see Monique. I didn't see, if that was Stacy that we saw, then I don't see Wendy. So no, there's no telling what's going on here, but we'll have to wait and see how things pan out. But I did want to just give you guys a little bit of tea, since I know that Potomac will be coming up shortly after we get Atlanta. I'm assuming we'll have Atlanta for a bit. After that, then we'll probably have Ultimate Girls Trip for a few short weeks, and then I know we'll have Potomac coming back, and I'm assuming this will likely be in October. So let me know what you guys think about all of this carrying on. It's always a pleasure to give you guys a little bit of tea, a little bit of spoiler. I should have warned you about that part, but I don't really think that this is spoiling too much, as much as it is more or less exciting. With that being said, I will catch you, of course. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Please, please, please. Also, click that like button. And be sure to tap down in the link in the description, because again, our faceless content course, y'all, it is kicking behind. Thank you to everyone who has dove into it. I'm going to keep it active probably for a little while longer. But y'all know I like to move on to the next thing. So we'll be moving on from that very, very soon. So if you haven't tapped in, be sure to do so as soon as possible before it is gone. Okay. That being said, I will catch you in the next video.